Hi everyone, Marianna here. I am your favorite therapist, your favorite coach. I am a specialist in anxious attachment, and I help you go from anxious to secure attached. So I made this video with all of my love, with a lot of effort for you so that I can help you the best way I can. So in this video, I want to show you what is your biggest obstacle between you and your goal of becoming secure attached. Trust me, I know being anxious attached can be very troublesome and can be very painful and very frustrating. And I've been there too for a long time. So I am here to help people become secure attached. And I'm here in this video especially to tell you what is your biggest obstacle and what can you do to remove it out of your life and start to become secure now. So your biggest obstacle is not becoming full stacked. So let me explain. So let's say these little bars over here at the top are all the information I give you. You and I doing some work together, and I tell you about how to become secure, and we do coaching, right? Let's say we do coaching together, and I teach you, I give you all, I don't give materials, but I give you all of my knowledge. So it's on the first, right? And this is stacked over 4 layers. The reason why concepts of becoming secure attached are not working is because we're putting the concepts of secure attachment on top of these 3 layers and these 4 layers, and these 4 layers are completely weak. So we cannot sit all this precious knowledge that is going to transform your life on top of these weak layers, or this weak foundation. So I'm going to mention to you what these things are and why it's so important to keep them under good condition so anything that you learn sits and sticks. So the first layer would be mental awareness. The second will be mental cognition. The third will be relationship principles. And the fourth one is relationship disciplines. If we have these four really solid, then anything that you learn, either it's anything you learn in life actually, will stick because you are full stacked. So the first layer here would be mental awareness. Okay, so what is mental awareness? Mental awareness is you being able to see yourself and see in your head in the third person. Meaning you step out of yourself and you really see who you are, your identity, you see your thoughts, and not the thoughts themselves, but the quality of the thoughts. So here we see behavior patterns. Who are we, or who do we think we are, and what is our purpose, what we're doing here? So this is very important, right? To see ourselves outside ourselves. When we have triggers, when we have emotions, your mental awareness is able to detect what they are. You just don't go into some sort of instinct and feel triggered. No, your mental awareness will tell you, we are triggered now and we need to do something about it. What are we gonna do? Is this positive? Is this negative? How are we going to act? So is that mental awareness that is gonna make you pause instead of just reacting, okay? That's really what separates an evolved human from a non-evolved human, is your mental awareness. Your capacity to step outside the situation and be like, what is happening? You're aware. If you're in a house and you want to make sure it's safe, you're aware of the alarms, you're aware of the doors, you're aware of the condition of the pipes, of the condition of the walls. You're really aware, and you want to see, and sometimes when you're looking at a house to rent or to buy, you're taking notes, right? So it's the same awareness about what goes up in here. So when are you thinking this? When are you thinking that? When are you feeling this? When are you feeling that? And it's almost like you're taking mental notes of what is going on with you. Who are you? Who do you say to the world that you are? So this is very important. It's the foundation of everything. Nothing can sit on your head as far as knowledge if you don't have mental awareness. Another thing is our thoughts, okay? Your mental awareness is the patrol of your thoughts. You have to develop that awareness of what your thoughts are and when they come up. Because when we start with our thoughts immediately attach to an emotion. If we have a thought and we attach it to an emotion, meaning you think that your partner is cheating on you, that's a thought. The emotion is what? Insecurity, anxiety, right? So we're having a formula for a disaster. We're having a thought, then we have an emotion, they're attaching together, and what happens? This expands and it can manifest. So we have to be really careful about what we think, and it's our mental awareness that tells us we're thinking about this and this is not good. So if you're watching this video, you most likely have that quality of anxious thoughts, or that quality of thoughts of impending doom, of things that haven't happened, or if you're probably having imaginary conversations with people that, you know, you're in these confrontations and things that you want to say, and then you're just having these monologues at home, and it's your mental awareness that needs to wake up and say, hey, enough of this self-talk, it's talking to the air. So it is very important that we register what is really happening to us, okay? What is going on here? Like, you're checking on buying a house. You're checking inside your brain, inside your feelings, to see what's really going on here. So this is where we register our identity, you know, where we have our labels. And labels can be very toxic when it comes to healing anything in your life. You know, you want to have a label. If we look at the label of anxious attachment, it's just anxious attachment, and I can tell you honestly, it is a label, okay? It is a label that helps us predict your behavior in front of relationships. So what other labels do you have? Are they positive labels, negative labels, labels that will help you, labels that will work against you? So that's why mental awareness is super important. The second thing is mental cognition, not mental condition, mental cognition with a G. Here is where we solve and prioritize problems. So let's say you're with your partner and then something comes up that gives you like an uneasy feeling. So this is where we say, should I talk this now? Should I bring it up now? Is that gonna do us good? Is that not good? Should I bring it up now? Can this wait? Can I put this on the shelf and maybe wait a couple of days? Can I not wait? Is this do or die? Should I just bring it up right this second? Or is this completely useless and I just need to grab it and discard it? You know, this is what our mental cognition can offer us. So a lot of people, especially with anxious attachment, we focus so much on what is really not important. Okay, mental cognition offers you a bigger picture view. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a partner and your partner is great, you have plans for the future, or you had plans for the future, and that's the bigger picture. The smaller picture is that your partner does certain things that trigger you and you want to change that. So then that means instead of spending time with your partner creating a future, you're spending time on your partner trying to change them into someone that they're not, and that might create conflicts. And when it creates conflicts, then we're really focusing on what is useless because your partner won't change. They will change under their own terms. So we're focusing on what is useless and we're not focusing on what's a priority. So if your mental cognition is not in good condition, you will bump onto this and you may lose a lot of ideal, great relationships if you start focusing on what is useless and not what is important. So here is where we plan for the future. Here's where we confront problems and we troubleshoot okay? And let's say, how do you manage an argument with your partner at hibachi dinner, where everyone is watching, or at your best friend's wedding, or at your in-laws, or just a really not ideal times. So your mental cognition will make you pause and say, what is a priority? Let me just think about that, okay? So mental cognition is a wonderful thing that you need to develop. It's a pattern recognition as well, because let's say fights don't come just because, fights come because you have gathered different elements, right? First, you need a trigger, then you need to bring it up, and bringing it up has tone, body language, demeanor, words, vocabulary. It has so many things involved. So you see, you need a lot of elements that when they're put together the right way, you are going to have a fight. Fights don't come out of the blue, right? You know this. So it's the pattern recognition. Okay, we have a trigger. Okay, here comes the words. Okay, so it's the mental cognition says, don't use those words, don't use that tone, don't use that body language, because the other person may not like it. So it's really your ability to make sure that you can minimize the chances of having the other person be defensive towards you. So it's how we troubleshoot our fights, okay? In other words, just pick your fights. So this, you're not born with it, okay? Not you specifically, none of us. This needs to be developed with time. And the more you develop it, you'll see that you have almost like some sort of x-ray vision of who you are, and you'll enjoy life a lot more. Mental cognition is very important for another thing, and this I really want you to pay a lot of attention. This is where our ability to say no hides, okay? So for all these people that are watching me right now, if you're anxious attached, I know for sure that there is an element of people pleasing in you, okay? So people pleasing is not just wanting to do things and not be able to say no when you want to say yes, or saying yes when you really want to say no. Okay, it's not just that. Sometimes it's anxious attached people because we want to feel loved. We bribe, okay? We do things with an agenda. We're starting to do favors, things, gifts, or whatever body language, love language we pick, to try to bribe this person to get something, which is feeling loved. So step away from doing that. This is what your mental cognition will offer you, okay? Stepping outside of that and knowing that if you want to feel loved, feeling loved and feeling the other person giving you things or being committed to you is given by emotional attraction. It's not given by gifts. It's not given by gifts. It's not given by presents or just running errands for this person. So if you're a people pleaser, you know that in your priority list there was a lot of things. You don't have one or two things. So remember, this is solve and prioritize, right? So our priority list is jammed with people and things to do. Okay, so there is only so much room in your priority list to be able to accomplish, right? So in the end, it works against you because all this anxiety of wanting to do all these things keep you paralyzed, and in the end you do nothing and you end up disappointing people, which is what a people pleaser fears the most. So is there a mental cognition that will give you that gift of not doing that? Our next thing is relationship principles, okay? These are our core beliefs. Let's just move this way. These are our core beliefs. This is how you run a relationship, okay? Different people run relationships different ways. That's why there's so many different points of view among all of us, because we don't know, how I may run a relationship differently, and it may work with my husband, and it may work together, right? So it's your core beliefs, more attached toward, relationship principles. It's attached toward your beliefs and your values. So this is why relationships are so difficult now, because we are matched up with people with different beliefs, and we try to convince our partner that our beliefs are the ones that are best, or your partner tries to convince you, and you don't really think that those beliefs are all that great, and that's when conflicts begin, and that's why relationships end. So we really need a lot of mental awareness to succeed at this, because your mental awareness is telling you, are you really following through with your principles, or are your principles kind of there, are they not there? So your relationship principles will tell you what is most important. So are you the most important person? You and your happiness? Is it your partner and their happiness? Is it your children? Is it you and your partner and not your children? Is it your partner and your children and not you? So you understand? So relationship principles are very important, because no matter what happens, whether the relationship is in the dumps and we're tossing even the word divorce, we know that in the end, what our relationship principles are, that is what everything's going to go in its favor. So if for you, your biggest relationship principle lies on your children, then it doesn't matter how the divorce, let's say the separation, confabulates, conjures. It doesn't matter. You're always going to want the best for your children. Other people only want their best for themselves and their children, and not their partner. Other people want the best for their partner and their children, and not themselves, leaving themselves last. So what are your relationship principles? This is very important to know. So let me just give you another example. I had a client that had a relationship, and they were both monogamous. So one of the people in this relationship said, let's bring a third person into the relationship. So she immediately went into her relationship principles, and her relationship principle said, no, we are monogamous. So this is not going to happen. So her relationship principles were really solid, okay? But in time, she started doing some research and said, you know what? I may not be able to include a third person in the relationship, but I'm not against going on a swingers club once in a while to experiment. So it became a negotiation. So with time, our relationship principles tend to change. So are they flexible? Are they not flexible? Because some principles have some sort of disclaimer attached to them, right? I am monogamous unless I'm married past 10 years and we are completely in love and super solid. It depends. They can change. So are they flexible? Are they solid? Is it a no with half of a yes? So, are they clear? Or some people don't even have them clear. I asked them, well, what are your principles? And they're like, I don't really know. I don't know. So we have to start with something, right? We can't just bump into learning the rules of becoming secure attached and not know what our relationship principles are, because this is how you as a person run a relationship. So are they clear? Do your principles break often? Okay, I have many clients that say they have a principle, but for fear of not losing their relationship, they break their principle because they're afraid of this person. Oh, you don't want to make out with somebody else in front of me? because that's your principle. Okay, I'll go find someone else. So then they break their principle, they do that whole uncomfortable thing to please the other person. Hello, mental cognition, not strong. Okay, so it's all connected. Okay, so this man said to his wife, I want you to sleep with, I want you to make out with other women because it turns me on. And she said, no. But then he said, well, if you don't do it, then I'm just going to find myself another wife. And then she said, okay. So for fear of losing the relationship, she broke her relationship principle. And the difference with the other example that I gave you, this person was curious. This person wanted to do it. That's why she was flexible and she was fine. This person wasn't. This person went and made out with this other woman to not lose the relationship because she felt threatened. So she broke her relationship principle, not wanting to do it. She only did it for fear of losing her husband. So if you're in a relationship where you're consistently fearful of losing your partner because your partner is threatening you of leaving if you don't do this, I will leave, then maybe that relationship is not the best for you. So let's move on to our fourth stack. It's relationship disciplines. So relationship disciplines is you having a broad knowledge of different philosophies, different relationships, okay? Different relationships encompass not just learning how to be in a relationship, it encompasses seduction, attraction, emotional attraction, commitment, marital life, what else? Parenting and marriage. So having a relationship or a serious relationship, which is, the goal, I guess, to be happy in a relationship, involves different things, not just one, not just love. So here you will broaden your view and understand new concepts. And not just that, it's just to be open to understand new concepts. So let's say here, all these disciplines that I will teach you, okay, these are your relationship disciplines, and this is what I will teach you if you and I start doing amazing work together, which we will, and you say, no, I'm a Christian, I don't do anything other than following the principles of the Bible. Okay, nothing wrong with that, but it may not be on your favor because you may need different elements of different philosophies that may help you become secure. Also, when we say, well, no, I'm a hardcore Muslim and I just don't believe in anything else. Whatever you're teaching me is for potheads, or whatever you're teaching me is for hippies, or whatever, then we close our mind and we just remain with our own philosophies that are really not serving us well. When you have relationship disciplines, multiple disciplines, and you're open to hearing multiple disciplines, then the work becomes a lot easier. So that's the first part of relationship disciplines. The second part is when we have these sayings, right? I am who I am and I won't do anything different. Whoever loves me is going to have to love me for who I am and I'm not doing anything else. So if you're saying that, you're most likely that person that calls everyone a narcissist, right? And I'm telling you, saying that, I am who I am, and whoever likes me, they'll put up with me. Whoever doesn't like me won't put up with me. There's the door. I don't care. That is the first phrase in the narcissistic rule book. So if you are saying these things, trust me, if you don't develop your relationship disciplines, then you will fall into this pit, that nothing, you will be really, really unhappy. So people also that say, therapy is for crazy people. Or like, I don't need therapy. I'm not crazy, and I'm here to debunk that. Coaching and therapy is not for crazy people. Coaching and therapy are for people who want to stop suffering. And if you believe that you need to change nothing, then good for you. But if you're suffering in relationships and whatever methods you're using are not working for you, and you're just not taking responsibility, blaming other people, saying, oh, it's their loss. Oh, they dump you. Oh, it's their loss, their loss, their loss, their loss. What you're doing is putting all the responsibility on them and not taking any yourself. So you really want to take responsibility for developing your relationship disciplines. When we become glued to one discipline only, okay, and this is why our program is multidiscipline. When we become glued to one only, we become judgmental of the others, okay? So you want to be open-minded and have something that is really big too, which is your belief. You have to have belief. It took me about 15 years to become secure. I was the most anxious attached person on the planet. And I remember being at this church and I was praying and I was telling God, I was like, why did you make me this way? Why am I like this? Why did you make me this way? And I thought I was being pious and I thought I was being humble, but no, I was being extremely rebellious. I was telling God he didn't do his work well, that he failed when he created me. And I was pretty much saying, you failed. You're not perfect. You messed up with me. So when I think back, when I looked at it, and then I started to read some teachings, because I started a lot with the Torah, the Bible itself. And there's a part where Moses is trying to free the Hebrews and trying to open the ocean, right? Trying the Red Sea. And he says, God, can you kind of like open the Red Sea, please? And he's like, why are you talking to me for? Right? That's what God says. Why are you telling me? So what he really meant is, okay, well, I'm here and I'm praying. Why did you make me this way? I'm suffering. And he was like, why are you telling me? Go out there and find all those people that I have created too, that inspired by me have developed different philosophies to help you so that you can heal. And why did I make you this way? I made you this way so that you can heal yourself and you can help other people heal too. And now I understand it. So my Red Sea didn't open until 15 years later. And I'm telling you this, it was really hard, even though it was a beautiful journey. That's what I said now, but it was difficult and it was painful. And I don't want you to take 15 years. I think I'll be okay if you take 16 weeks, which is what the program lasts. And I have gathered a lot of information. That's why multidiscipline, relationship disciplines are so important, because I had to consult with people that were very well versed in Veda scriptures, people that knew a lot about the Bible, people that knew a lot about the Torah, people that knew a lot about Kabbalah science, obviously psychology, and relationship trauma, sciences when it comes to treating PTSD, and just overall anxiety. So it took me a long time, and it took me a long time to experience that and make it work for myself, actually to apply it. Because it wasn't just a matter of sitting there and studying and listening to these people talk to me. I had to grab their tools and start using them. But first, what I needed to do was this. I had to work, starting from scratch, I had to work on my mental awareness, I had to work on my mental cognition, because trust me, both of them were absolutely shot. They were not good. I had no idea. I was just acting and reacting all by instinct. I had no idea of what the quality of my thoughts were. I didn't know. And my mental cognition, I was just like an extreme people pleaser, and I didn't know how to prioritize. My conflict solving skills were horrible. I would just storm out, go scream in front of people, not care, making a spectacle of myself and my partners. It was awful. Then my relationship principles, I would break them all the time because I was afraid that these men would leave me. And my relationship disciplines, I listened to no one. All I did was being on my knees, telling God, why did you make me this way? Why did you make me this way? I even thought I was cursed. I even thought that someone had put some sort of witchcraft on me. I was so unhappy and I didn't understand why. So our program is a mix of all of these things, so then you don't have to have a 15-year-old journey and you can do it in no time. So I want to leave you a link right there. So before, give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to leave you a link down below to my case study. This is an 11-minute video where I explain anxious attachment, so then you can see if that's you, and then you can fill out an application and schedule an hour free consultation with me, where you and I, just me, you and I will be talking on the phone. You and I will be talking on the phone privately, and you will be telling me your feelings and your progress and why you've tried before. And I am sure it's going to be the most useful 45 minutes that you've invested in your self-growth this year. And I want to let you know that you're not alone. I've been there too, and I understand your pain. I understand your frustration with anxious attachment, and it can be healed. It all depends if you want to become full stacked, and then we'll get all those gold nuggets of what the tools are to becoming secure. So I love you very, very, very much, and I want to tell you that I am here for you. Write me a comment, send me your love, and I'm sending you all of mine. I made this video with lots of love for you, and if you think that this video can be good for someone, don't hesitate to tag them, share it, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!